Welcome to Care and Preservation of Media in Oral Histories. My name is Bob. I'm an archivist at Milwaukee Public Library. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at mplarchives@milwaukee.gov. Today we'll be talking about media, including oral histories, and some of the basics of how to care for them based on our experiences. This will not include photographs, and that will be a separate session. We are not conservators, just archivists sharing what we have learned. We will cover some examples of the items, preservation guidelines based on the specific items, possible resources, and examples of care from our collections. Examples of different types of media, it can be audio cassettes, DVDs, VHS cassette tapes, film reels, records, or CDs. The preservation guidelines for care and storage. Sometimes it can be difficult to even figure out what kind of media you have. Just identifying that can be the first step. You can also try to get players for all your different kinds of formats. Digitize whenever possible for outdated formats because they could be at risk then of being lost forever. Some digitization equipment is very affordable and accessible to buy online. Keep in dark, dry, and cool environment, both materials and equipment. Oral histories are for transcribed for interviews for written record. Transfer or digitize recording to a format that is easy to migrate. Formats could be as basic as a printed transcript or an online exhibit. Here's an example of the Benson Ford Research Center of an oral history collection. Media. What types of film reels? It could be 8 millimeter, 16 millimeter, or 35 millimeter. 8 millimeter and 35 millimeter is less common. Usually the 16 millimeter is probably the most common. And literally you just go ahead and measure the width of the film. For storage of these film reels, ideally they would be stored in a plastic container. These are the old metal ones, but the plastic ones typically have holes for ventilation because the film needs to have airflow. Acetate discs, they can come in anywhere from 7 inches to 16 inches. They're quite large, not made of acetate or vinyl either. We discovered some of these records in some of our unprocessed collections. They definitely seemed too big and too heavy to be a regular vinyl record. But after some research, we discovered they were acetate records, and they're often made of aluminum with a lacquer coating. And that coating is very fragile and cannot be played on a regular record player and needs to be cleaned professionally before playing and digitizing. We did find a local vendor and had some funds dedicated to digitizing and we put these materials at the top of our list because of the condition the records were in was pretty rough. So you can also collect different types of players and converters to either play the materials or digitize. So on the bottom is some of the converters that you can have. You can see they have like USB jump drives, and we have a TV, VCR. This is a U-matic player, which predates the VCR, just so you can be able to play the items to see what's on them. So media. If you are feeling out of your depth when it comes to digitization, I would encourage you to visit Recollection Wisconsin's website. They want to partner with local institutions to help with digitization. Remember, you don't have to digitize to the highest standards. You do what you can, and it's certainly better than nothing. Thanks for attending.